2 overall pick gets it into Wembanyama, guarded by Washington.
You know how to make the changes.
The reverse and the foul. A figment of our basketball imagination.
Looking, no timeouts left. The pass comes to Bane. Bane hoisting.
We had an incredible first month of NBA basketball, and in case you missed it, don't worry, you're in the right place.
He drills it.
It's magic on a Monday night. 115.
Let's start with the standings. You see, the West looks about as expected through November, with the Thunder, Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, and Spurs topping the conference, and as for the East, well, that conference is an absolute mess. The favorites to win the conference, being the Cavs and Knicks, sit comfortably at 4 and 5. Meanwhile, teams with no hopes whatsoever sit atop the Eastern throne, and convincingly so, being the Heat on a roll at 3, the Raptors shocking everyone at 2, and the Pistons sneakily becoming the best constructed roster in the East, just getting off a 13-game winning streak. Nothing really makes sense right now, but we'll dive deeper into these overachieving teams and teams that have absolutely flopped thus far, as well as everything from the MVP race to the Rookie of the Year race to even the MIP race, which players are good now, which players are horrible now, basically everything you would need to possibly know about the NBA just 1 month into the action. But before we get into all the Jimmys and Joes and X's and O's and storylines that are brewing within the league so far, this video is sponsored by nobody, unfortunately, but maybe you could sponsor me, and by sponsor me, I mean subscribe, because I'm close to hitting 10K, and hey, maybe you could make this an early holiday gift for me. I mean, come on, guys. You like basketball, right? I mean, I'll be posting these weekly videos every week and recap videos every month. So, I mean, come on, you like... All right, sorry. That's enough begging. Let's just get right into things. We'll begin out east, and I don't think I can talk about this month and this conference without first addressing the Detroit Pistons. Yes, their schedule hasn't been too difficult thus far, but they've played games without Cade, Ausar, or Duren and still managed to find a way to win every game for 13 games straight. They played games without an entire starting roster and won. Cade has been playing elite as a ball-dominant number 1 scoring option. He's an MVP candidate, and by number 1 scoring option, I mean the only scoring option, because he literally broke the record for the most misses in a game, and he's been the complete focal point of this offense. That being said, Jalen Duren has made an unfathomable leap to genuinely a top 4 to 5 center on the planet. His offensive game has just become so polished and efficient with some genuine confidence. It's almost like he is finally realizing he's the strongest player in the NBA. Whatever. Defensively, which is what I was most concerned about in the years past, he has completely evolved into a smart interior shot blocker with a defensive presence to couple with his playmaking ability. At his unreal frame, he's like a diet AD. These two have been the best duo in basketball. It's that simple, but it's really been Denise Jenkins coming out of nowhere on a 2-way contract to glue this team together and take them from that upper echelon to the upper echelon of teams in the NBA. I mean, they needed someone to be able to run the floor and play serviceable defense when Cade is off the court, and Denise Jenkins has completely provided that for the cheapest price imaginable. I'm so excited for the Pistons' future. I mean, going from 14 wins all season 2 years ago to 14 wins before Thanksgiving is certainly a sign of something special, and they are going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. And moving slightly lower, we have teams like the Raptors and Heat, who have emerged as a total shock. We knew the East was wide open, but we were mistaken in thinking it was wide open for the Knicks, Magic, and Cavs, as it seems that the formula for winning is less about star power in today's league and more about fit and coaching. The top 3 teams in the East are not nearly the most talented in the conference, but they are certainly the best coached and certainly the best constructed. The Heat and the Raptors play such a similar brand of take-turns basketball, with a number 1 scoring focal point peeking its head whenever needed, but for the Raptors, that could be anyone from Scotty Barnes to Brandon Ingram on any given night. But for the Heat, there's no question. They've got their guy in Norman Powell. 2 seasons ago, Norman Powell was seen as a good piece to kind of round out your starting lineup if you want to have a pretty deep roster, but from last season to now, he has transformed his game to becoming a genuine first option scorer on winning basketball teams. The Clippers took a blossoming chess piece and slapped him onto the board of a grandmaster in Eric Spoelstra, and suddenly the 2025 Heat are running a lot similarly to the 2023 Heat, and you know, that team took the Eastern Conference by storm as an 8th seed, so things are looking up for Miami for sure. Oh, and it doesn't hurt that they haven't missed on a draft pick since Obama was president, so yeah, the Heat are sitting pretty for sure. And moving further down the East, the supposed tops of the East have been pretty silent, and the price to pay for how much better the Western Conference is the fact that the bottom of the East might be the lowest floor for the conference we have seen throughout 1 month in a long time. I'm not counting out the Knicks, Cavs, and Magic just yet. The East will be a very, very fun conference to watch, especially in the playoffs up until the finals when they get blown out by the Thunder. But unfortunately, the highs are low and the lows are even lower. Now let's move to the meat and potatoes of the league, more specifically the Western Conference, and dialing down even more, the dictatorship underway in Oklahoma. I'm gonna break it to you straight. the Oklahoma City Thunder have just become your 2026 NBA championships and repeated as champions. Look, I'll be doing these monthly recaps every month until June, and I can guarantee you now that this opinion will not change. The Thunder will win the championship this season, and there's unfortunately nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do now is hopefully prevent them from getting a top pick in next year's draft and three-peating, because that seems to be the next thing on the horizon. They have been so untouchable thus far, only dropping one game in an absolute fluke. They're 18-1, and worst of all, their All-NBA second option hasn't even stepped on the court once this season. Anyways, you've heard enough about them already. Let's talk about every other team in the Western Conference so far, as if they even matter. Starting with the only team that has a sliver of a possibility to take down this juggernaut, that being the Denver Nuggets. Jokic has his boys tied for second right now after a rocky first few games, and Cameron Johnson has not panned out at all in the way we hoped he would. But that doesn't stop the two scoring beasts on this team who can drop 50 on any given night. And I'm not talking about Jokic and Murray, I'm talking about Jokic and AG, who just ages like fine wine out in Denver. This team proved last year that if anyone could go toe-to-toe with dominance, it's them. And they've only gotten deeper and more defensively sound since then. The only issue is that some of these games from last year's series were determined by inexperience, like the Thunder's collapse in Game 1. And unfortunately for the Nuggets, that factor has been wiped out completely. The biggest problem with facing this Thunder team is that once they get even a bit of momentum, the game is effectively over. I mean, we saw the Nuggets have 20-point leads in that series and just get blown out by the end of the game. They will rain down threes from literally everywhere on the court and on the bench, and when the threes aren't hitting, Shea will most certainly grab a clutch bucket. Oh, and if he misses that clutch bucket, don't worry, because Chet and iHeart and other 7-footers will follow suit with a putback. I mean, the Thunder will not lose to the Nuggets come playoff time, but the Nuggets might be the only team who ends up grabbing more than a game on them. Moving down, the Lakers have been solid. It's great offense on every possession, and defense, what is defense? I've never heard of defense. The Lakers have managed to lose 4 games while playing virtually only one half of the court and having a lot of injuries, but hey, offense wins championships, right, Nico? Let's move down to Texas, where we have the Rockets at 4 and the Spurs at 5. Both of these teams have looked absolutely unstoppable at some points and completely stale offensively at others. The Spurs without Wemby are literally just the 2021 Kings, which is probably not a good thing. They've been battling injuries to all of their key players, but hey, 5th is not bad considering an injury bug. And as for Houston, KD has taken an unfortunate, noticeable step back as a first option. He's not the foot on the line, old but gold Slim Reaper anymore. He's more like a defensive-minded, more efficient 2017 Melo. That being said, Amen has taken a considerable jump offensively. Alperen has had games where he's no longer baby Jokic and is just straight up Jokic, and he came out in the first game of the season looking like Dirk Nowitzki and 03 Chris Paul had a baby and just threw it in a Rockets jersey, but his three-point leap hasn't been as great as it was advertised on opening night. And speaking of their counterpart, the Suns have been on a climb surprisingly, not for long. The Wolves have been on a decline surprisingly, not for long, and the bottom is the bottom. What are you gonna do? The Mavs are dealing with injuries, but they're already ready to move on from AD. Hell, they finally shipped off Nico Harrison out the door. I mean, who even remotely thought this experiment of a team could ever work out? Hey, why is that on the screen? Get that off the screen, that's not me. And for teams other than the Mavs at the bottom, I mean, free Sabonis, free Laurie, and sorry New Orleans, but the Pelicans are moving out within the next 5 years. All right, that's enough of the standings. You guys get the picture. Let's move on to award races. Let's start with the lower ones. For Sixth Man of the Year, as of now, it's between Jaime Jaquez and Ajay Mitchell, and I don't even think you can truly count either of them as full-time sixth men, but I think this one definitely goes to Jaime. He's everything the Heat needed thus far with no hero off the bench. The offense doesn't miss a beat with him out there, and out of all of these Sixth Man of the Year candidates, I would say Jaime is the one who changes the game the most for the Heat, so he's my pick. As for the most improved player odds, they are currently surrounding Jalen Duren, but Josh Giddey has taken a really great jump. Ryan Rollins has been unreal at times, coming out of nowhere, and of course Duren has been incredible, but to me, I think we gotta look at Keontae George. Keontae isn't just a good player turned great like normal. He is a player with virtually no prospects on a hellhole Jazz roster who's emerging into an incredible 3-level scorer and genuine franchise cornerstone for a desolate Utah franchise. I mean, Duren deserves the award as of right now, don't get me wrong, he's been incredible, but the sheer amount of improvement that this award entails is meant for guys like Keontae George and Ryan Rollins, in my opinion, not players who are already solid starters. The Rookie of the Year race has been pretty fluctuating and entertaining. Go watch my full video, my full breakdown right here. It's pretty awesome. Go give it a watch. But it's recently kind of bellied out with one clear frontrunner, and that is Kon Knueppel. Kon Knueppel has looked absolutely phenomenal as a scorer, a shooter, a defender, a playmaker, a shot creator, a decision maker, and the one thing he has over every single rookie in this class is consistency. He's consistently improved. He hasn't had many true stinkers like the others, and I am not shocked at all by a world where he runs away with the award because he is absolutely the right man in Charlotte, and they better cling to him for dear life because Gordon Hayward is back in a Hornets jersey, but this time he's in his prime. For Depoy, unless he misses the 65 game requirement, it's Wemby. Next question. Coach of the year, sorry JB, but it's Dagnall. Next question. Clutch player of the year, it's between Shea, Cade, and Maxey for me. Shea is obviously the most clutch player come crunch time. I wouldn't want anyone else on the court, but he's out by the third quarter half of the time, so they probably can't give it to him for that reason, and I'll be taking Cade personally. Finally, the MVP award. You all know I'm a Jokic guy, and his highs have been way higher than Shea's so far. So have Luka's, so have Cade's, but this Thunder team will finish top 3 all time, and Shea is a damn good head of that shit. And that's not me saying he doesn't deserve it. I mean, stats-wise, I'd take Jokic, but Shea is honestly the best player on the planet right now. And he will most certainly win his second MVP when this is all said and done. And finally, my Bradley Beal award for the worst player in the NBA this month goes to, drumroll please, Bradley Beal. All right, that's it for our November recap. You're pretty much all caught up with the NBA this month, so I hope you enjoyed or got something out of this, and make sure to subscribe because we are eerily close to 10K, and I've got a huge documentary project coming your way this winter, so get excited. Are you excited? You better be excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's it from me. Have a great holiday season, and subscribe. It's free.